All right, are we back? All right, so we've had a couple connection problems with Facebook Live. So if we, if this closes out for some reason, just, come back on. All right, welcome to today's live video on Facebook. Just let me know in the comments where you're from and say hello. We've got some really cool stuff in store for you today, including a contest, a giveaway, a brand new class, and a bunch of other stuff. Now, what I want to talk about in today's live video is about this concept, this idea that the work that you do as a trader could potentially take 10 minutes a day. Now, you've probably heard of the 80-20 rule, right? You've heard of the 80-20 rule, that most of our results in life come from a less significant portion of our efforts. So 80% of what we accomplish comes from 20% of what we do. And there are derivatives of this 80-20 rule, including, for example, the 51 rule, which is a rule that states that 50% of our results come from 1% of our efforts. And so I started to think recently, like, what 1% of my efforts makes the most difference? If I could narrow down the stuff that makes the most difference in the least amount of time, what would that be? And then I came to the conclusion that maybe we could talk about, for the next week or so, we could talk about building a method, a system, a dashboard, an indicator, a method for getting the most important work that we do as traders done in the shortest amount of time possible. So that's what we're here for. So if you're watching live or you're watching on the recording, give me a yes and say, just let me know, are you interested in looking at ways that we can spend less time in front of the charts and get a better income out of that time? So if you're interested in that, I want to know. I'll jump in the comments a little bit later on and say hello back to you. That's what I want to know. Are you interested in spending less time in front of the charts, maybe 10 minutes a day, and getting a better income out of that? So for those of you that don't know me, hi, I'm Rob. I've been a trader since the year 2000. I started off as the worst trader of all time. I was terrible. I bought when I should have sold. I sold when I should have bought. I traded too many positions. I traded too much size. I traded too often. I traded too many financial instruments. I mean, I made every mistake that you could possibly ever make. And then, on the other hand, I've had some really great trades, including the big carry trade that I did that I wrote about in the book Adventures of a Currency Trader, the big $164,000 British pound Swiss franc trade that I took back when I lived in Mission Viejo, California. That came to me when I was on a run. I mean, I've had some good and bad times. I've lost money and I've made money. But most of all, more important than all of that, is for those of you that don't know me yet, you'll get to know me. I love traders. I love what we do. I love my family. I love Nate, who's sitting here behind the camera, and I love traders. Like I've just dedicated my life, or a significant portion of it, to reducing the time that it takes me to trade, and then spending time with folks like you, someone exactly like you who wants to spend less time in front of the charts, make more money, work less, travel more, spend more time with your family, watch your kids growing up, all that kind of good stuff. That's what's important. I mean, if that's important to you, that's important to me, and then we're on the same page. I'm not all about yachts and Swedish supermodels and fancy cars. That's not my thing. That's not my shtick. I mean, I like money. I like money, and I like not worrying about money, and I like you not worrying about money. But if you are looking for a way to become the next Gordon Gekko, that's not really my shtick. I mean, I don't even think that's a good idea at all. So if that's your thing, then just go away. We don't want you here. We're family people. We want to take care of our families. And if we want to buy something super fancy that's a vehicle, it would be like an RV, so we could take our families across the country or something like that. Today, and in this series of videos that we're going to do in the near future, I want to talk about using one simple strategy, reducing what we do down to that essential 1%, or that essential 20% of time that we would ordinarily spend. Reduce the number of things that we look at. Narrow down what we focus on so that it becomes easier. So whether you trade Forex or stocks or options, or futures or cryptocurrency, whatever it is that you trade, this one simple strategy applies to all of those things. And it's not just a philosophy, but it's an actual hard-coded indicator for TradeStation and for Thinkorswim and for a bunch of platforms. And it all comes down to, how could I reduce the most essential things that I do down to 10 minutes? How can you do that? How can I help you do that? Like I said, I'm kind of obsessed with this stuff because I love building this stuff together and talking about it together. That's where we're going with this. This is, if I can accomplish this together with you, if I can help you spend 10 minutes in front of the charts daily that produces a better income for you, then I will have accomplished my goal. Because what I want to do is spend more time with you in person, get together when I travel around the world and meet with traders. I want to have more time for getting together and talking about all the things in life, not just about the charts. This quote sums it up. A lot of you know Nikola Tesla, the famous inventor of the late 1800s, late 19th century. When I get a new idea, I start at once building it in my imagination, and I operate the device in my mind. He's famous for saying that when he had an invention, what he would do is he would build it completely in his mind, piece by piece, and he would picture himself actually using the invention. And he could literally picture every piece of the device fitting together in place before he ever built it. And this visualization, this clarity, is what allowed him, I think, in my opinion, to take an above-average intelligence and turn himself into what is an inventing superhero. Now I think about you. I think about you and I. I'm average intelligence. If you're here today, you're smarter than I am. I don't think highly of my own intelligence, but I do think highly of my own imagination and my own ability to visualize what it is that I want. In so many times in my life, I've spent time visualizing exactly what it is that I want, and then I've gone out and done it. So what I'm visualizing lately is 100 traders doing the same thing in the same way for 10 minutes a day. And I have this vision, and I can see it so clearly. And whenever I have this happen to me, I have to stop everything I'm doing. And I haven't done anything like this in maybe 2 years. And I stop everything, and I visualize every part of it piece by piece, what indicator we would use, what charts we would look at, and how we would maximize the time we spent in front of the screen. And it would be for this reason. So here is the largest trading floor in the world. I'm not even sure this is still open. I think they moved the trading floor. This was the old UBS trading floor in Connecticut. And there's something really interesting about the way that this trading floor was designed. And if you look at pictures online, if you just do a Google image search for trading floors, you'll notice something really interesting about many, many of them. The ceiling is really high. And I think this is for a reason. If you look at the CBOE, the same thing is true. People down here and a really high ceiling. Now, they don't do that to reduce expenses because that's more expensive to heat and cool. They don't do this only for architectural reasons, once again, because it's more expensive to do this. What is the purpose of raising the ceiling? Well, the purpose is, in my opinion, I think there's a psychological reason here that the ceiling is high. I think that when you place a ceiling really high above you, or you work in front of a scene of the ocean, or whatever it is, that you place fewer limits on how much that you can achieve. It's a psychological trick that allows these people down here to do better than they normally would under similar circumstances with a roof that's lower. In other words, we all operate at a maximum capacity equal to whatever we visualize being the top. So if you've set a mental image that the most money you can make is $50,000 a year, then that's going to be your ceiling. If you've also decided that trading is really difficult and it's important to grind it out, if you're a Gary Vaynerchuk fan and you believe that hard work and grinding it out and bleeding from your fingernails is the only way to make money in trading, well, then none of this applies to you. But if you've decided, or at least you're open to the idea, that when you raise the ceiling on what's possible for you, when you imagine something better, that you begin the process of accomplishing it, then this is for you. So I've created a brand new website, and it's ghostpivots.com. You can go there right now. The link's above in this video on Facebook, and it's below the video on YouTube if you're watching. And at that website, you can plug your name and your email address in, and I'll get you started on getting more information about what I'm building right now that we are going to release within the next few days. Now, here's a look at what we will be releasing in the next few days. So the microphone's going to be a little bit weaker perhaps, but this is Bitcoin, and I don't care if you trade Bitcoin or if you trade stocks or if you trade current, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. What you'll see on the chart here is a ghost pivot. And a ghost pivot is tomorrow's or next week's or next month's pivot shown right now. And what it leads to is an excellent profit target. It's a little bit spooky because it's something you aren't supposed to be able to see right now. And I did this today. Actually, I'm in this trade right now. I bought this today. I bought Bitcoin today up to the ghost pivot. This is Apple. Apple is currently on the way to a ghost pivot. Spooky. A ghost pivot is next month's pivot, and it's floating out there, invisible to the rest of the world, but visible to you and I. Now, I've built a set of tools that make it easy to find the next ghost pivot trade in several markets. Whether you want to trade options, whether you want to trade stocks straight up, whether you want to trade currency or cryptocurrency, I've built some tools that make this really easy and turn the trading workday into a 10-minute play/work time. So here's the next thing to do. If you want more information about this, you can go to ghostpivots.com. You can check it out. You can plug your name and your email address in, and I'll start sending you information. But that's not the end of it. I want, like I said, I want 100. When I finally release this in the next few days, when I finally release this, I want 100 of us to do this together. And I want to incentivize as many people as possible to get more information about this. So what I've done is, together with Nate, we're going to buy a bunch of iPads. I don't know how many we're going to buy. It all depends on how many are on the list right now. And I think we're up to like 900 something. So we're up to like 900 people on the list now. And I've gone to the end of the slideshow. Let's go here to the bottom and restart the slide presentation. So we've bought a bunch of these, and we're going to ship them out. And if you get yourself on that early bird list at ghostpivots.com, every day or every 2 days or so, we're going to give one of these away to someone. It'll be brand new. We're not going to send you some crappy iPad that our children cracked the screen. We're going to send you a brand new one just for being on the early bird list. And then when it comes time to open up the class, I've got something much bigger, much more substantial along the same lines for someone that jumps inside the class. Now, not everybody can be a winner. It will be chosen at random, and it will be chosen at random by Nate from the early bird list. And it's all my shameless pitch to get you on the early bird list because I want you to be one of 100 people that come along for this ride. And that's it. That's what I got for today. So as you're thinking, click on the link above on Facebook or below on YouTube. And I just want to remind you as we go, here's what the goal is. The goal is I want to raise the ceiling on what you feel is possible for you. I'm doing this myself, so I've never made, well, I guess we've talked about this on the podcast recently. You can check out the podcast. But I'm setting goals for myself, financial goals for myself, that raise the possibility of how much it's possible for me to earn in 2018 from my own trading. And this is the way that I'm going to do it. And I kind of want to go on this ride together. I want to take this journey together. So anyway, we're going to pick the winner of the iPad for today. We're going to pick that from a person that puts a comment in the comments below this video in Facebook today. And if you're on YouTube, I guess we'll pick one off of YouTube in the next few days as well. So if you're on either of those platforms and you're watching live or you're watching the recording, let us know hello. Let us know if you're looking forward to the class. Let me know where you're from. Say hello. And then if you're the winner, we'll reply and tell you how to get in touch with us. But that's it. That's what I've got for you today. Check out the website. Go to ghostpivots.com. Check it out. I can't wait to see you there. I can't wait to see you on the early bird list. And I will see you in the next couple of days. Bye for now, everybody. And thanks, Nate.